Hello students, I hope you are all fine and in good health. In this audio presentation, I will be discussing few basic concepts related with tenses. Some basic information I will be providing to all of you so that it can be a good revision for all of you. So dear students, let's start. See, at the top it is written CBSE class 11 English grammar, then it is written tenses. Now there are three sentences written one after the another. So let us read these three sentences first. So look at the heading, read the following sentences carefully. Sentence number 1, I play tennis every day. Sentence number 2, we played a match yesterday. Sentence number 3, they will play with us tomorrow. Now dear students, if you closely look, very carefully if you look also, the three sentences are different from one another. Now if we analyze it critically from the grammatical aspect, then in sentence number 1, the verb play refers to present time. In sentence number 2, the verb played refers to past time. And in sentence number 3, if you check very closely, you will find that the verb will play refers to future time. So thus verb may refer to present time, past time or future time. Now it depends on the sentence. Now another important thing I like to share with all of you in this regard, that is, since three main time divisions are present, past and future. Remember, three main time divisions are present, past and future respectively. They may be represented by three main blocks of tenses. And what are those three main blocks of tenses? Number 1, the present tense. Number 2, the past tense. And number 3, the future tense. That is present, past and future. Now I am moving on to the next important discussion. Now depending on the interest and attitude of the speaker, tenses are divided as indefinite or simple tense, continuous or progressive tense, perfect tense, and last but not the least, perfect continuous tense. Now remember, this division is entirely based on the interest and attitude of the speaker. So I repeat, what are the four divisions? Indefinite tense, or we can say simple tense, continuous, or another name is progressive tense, perfect tense, and the last one, perfect continuous tense. Now this classification takes into account both form and function. Now this classification, it depends entirely on both form and function. These four subdivisions of each tense clearly indicate the stage of action. Remember, this subdivision of each tense, now it clearly indicates the stage of action. So now let us move on. See, number 1, it is written the simple tense or the simple form. Now the simple form simply states the action. It does not say anything about the completion of the action, whether it is complete or not. Now simply it states the action. Now it does not state whether the action is completed or it is still going on. That the simple form does not state. It simply states that the action is there. Whether the action is completed, whether it is still going on, it is not completed, that part is not been told in the simple form. The continuous form indicates that the action is in progress, it is going on. That is the significance of the term continuous. that is, it is still going on. The perfect form indicates that the action has been completed. Now the perfect form, ultimately it indicates that the action has been totally completed. The perfect continuous form shows that the action will begin sometime before is still in progress. Now the perfect continuous form, it states that the action that started way back earlier, now also it is still going on, or we can say it is still in progress. So that is the perfect continuous form. So let me rewind once again for your convenience. The simple form actually simply states the action. Remember one thing, dear students, it does not say anything about the completion of the action, whether it is complete or not. That has not been clarified in the simple form. In the continuous form, remember one thing, dear students, the action is still in progress. That is, it is still going on. There lies the significance of the term continuous. Third important thing that you should all remember, the perfect form. Now in the perfect form, the action has been totally completed. The perfect continuous form shows that the action which started or which began sometime before, that means it started a bit while ago, is still in progress, that is, it is still going on. So there lies the concept of the perfect continuous form. Now dear students, I am moving on to the next one, or rather to say to the next page. So some other important things are there for clarification. Thus the tense of a verb shows not only the time of an action or event, but also the state of an action. You should all remember that the tense of a verb shows not only the time of an action or event, but also it states the state of an action. That also it states. That means not only the time of an action or event, but also the state of an action. In other words, we may say that tense is the form of a verb which shows the time at which an event occurs and the degree of completeness or incompleteness of the event. That means one thing you should all know by this time, that the tense is actually the form of a verb which shows the time at which an event occurs, because ultimately tense is time, it is related with time. So tense we can clarify, or we can say that actually it is the form of a verb which shows the time at which an event occurs and the degree of completeness or incompleteness of the event. Now that is been made clear to us with the help of tense, whether an action is completed or it is still in progress, or whether it is still incomplete. Now we can actually judge it with the help of tense. So tense is the form of a verb which shows the time at which an event occurs, and not only that, the degree of completeness or incompleteness of the event or action, we can say. Now again, dear students, read the following sentences. What is written? Number 1, I write a letter. Very simple, it is in simple present tense. I am writing a letter. It is in present continuous tense. I have written a letter. It is in present perfect tense. I have been writing a letter since 7 a.m. It is in present perfect continuous tense. Why? Because the person who is writing the letter, that person had started writing the letter at 7 a.m. At that present moment also, his writing is still going on. It is still in progress. So obviously it is present perfect continuous tense. The verbs in the above sentences refer to present time. Therefore, these sentences are in the present tense. Remember one thing very clearly, dear student. If you notice, you will find that the verbs in the above sentences all are referring to the present time. Since they are all referring to the present time, so these sentences are said to be in present tense. Now, let us move on. The past tense also has the following four forms. Just like in case of the present tense, we have the four forms that I had already told to you all. Now, the past tense has also four forms. What are those four forms? Number one, if there is a sentence like this, I wrote a letter yesterday, it is in simple past. I was writing a letter at that moment, it is in past continuous. I had written before you came, it is in past perfect. Now another one is there, I had been writing letters all day yesterday. It is actually an example of past perfect continuous tense. I repeat, I wrote a letter yesterday. It is an example of simple past. I was writing a letter at that moment. It is an example of past continuous. I had written before you came. It is an example of past perfect. And finally, I had been writing letters all day yesterday. This is an example of past perfect continuous tense. Now, similarly, the future tense also has four forms that you all know by this time. So, what are the four forms? Let's come to the clarification part. I shall write to you tomorrow. It is in simple future. I shall be writing on reaching home. This is in future continuous tense. I shall have written a letter by evening. This is an example of future perfect tense. And one more example is there. I shall have been writing for an hour before you arrive. This is an example of future perfect continuous tense. So I repeat one more time. I shall write to you tomorrow. This is an example of simple future. I shall be writing on reaching home. This is an example of future continuous tense. I shall have written a letter by evening. This is an example of future perfect tense. And one more is there, that is future perfect continuous tense. The example is I shall have been writing for an hour before you arrive. This is an example of future perfect continuous tense. Now, one more important thing I like to clarify to all of you. As you can see now, I have prepared a chart and I have given the heading tense chart. I guess all of you can see it very well. So here in the first column there are 5 columns. I guess it is clear to all of you by now, and you all can see this 5 column. In the first column it is written tense. In the second column it is written simple, that is simple. Second one continuous, third one perfect, fourth one perfect continuous. Now in respect to present, past and future, some example has been given. Okay, so let us come to the present part. If this chart is clear to you, then the entire thing is very much clear to you. So don't forget this chart at all. Present tense, it is something related with write or writes. And present continuous, am writing, is writing, are writing. Then present perfect, has written, have written. Perfect continuous, has been writing, have been writing. Very important for you all to know this. If you look at the changes very carefully, then it won't be a big trouble. Now past tense, simple past, it will be wrote. Past continuous, was writing, were writing. Past perfect, had written. and past perfect continuous had been writing. Notice the changes. If you notice the changes properly, then it won't be difficult for you all. And now there is one more, the last one, future. Future, simple future, it will be shall or shall write or will write. Now future continuous, it will be shall be writing or will be writing. Future perfect, shall have written, will have written. Future perfect continuous, shall have been writing or will have been writing. Very important. So let me just clarify this tense chart once again for your convenience. Now present simple, it is write or writes. Now present continuous, it is am writing or is writing or are writing. Now present perfect, it is has written or have written. Present perfect continuous, has been writing, have been writing. Now past tense, simple past, it will be wrote. Past continuous, it will be was writing, were writing. Past perfect, it will be had written. Past perfect continuous, it will be had been writing. Now future, simple future, it will be shall write or will write. Future continuous, it will be shall be writing or will be writing. Future perfect, it will be shall have written or you can write will have written. And future perfect continuous, it is shall have been writing or will have been writing. So dear students, note the changes properly. That is the reason I have made this division or this column. If you note the changes properly, it won't be difficult for you all. So that is it, dear students. Kindly go through this audio presentation, and if there is any doubt anywhere, let me know about it. Thank you students. Thank you all.